Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day to some of you, and to all of you. If you're just joining us, this is SKTV. We want to welcome you. We're broadcasting to you from Phoenix, Arizona. We want to welcome each and every one of you today to another edition of SKTV. Today is Thursday, the 17th of February, 2022. We'd like to welcome all of you. There is a lot going on around the world. There is a lot going on in Africa. There is a lot going on in Liberia. So we want to welcome each and every one of you to SKTV today as we engage into another conversation here to talk about Liberia and some of the things that concern Liberia. Today, we are going to be zooming in, focusing on the opposition as of most recent, not only the court cases, but the divorce, the leaving, the separation of members of the CPP, other political parties have left. A lot of things to scrutinize, a lot of questions to ask, a lot of things to say. For example, did these political parties requesting to leave or to pull out is one thing, but did they follow the proper channel, such as their own framework document? Did they go through NEC to withdraw legally? Can they call a political jamboree rally or so forth, and just leave? And they just say, "Oh, we're leaving," and just leave. What are the processes? What are the steps involved in leaving? But most shockingly, yesterday, as we all witnessed, Joseph Yuma Boakai, who I term still as the current CPP chairman, considering we didn't see any legal document being filed or so forth. Rather, they had a press conference saying that they're leaving. So it's a little confusing. It's more light, raises a lot of questions and eyebrows. So yes, so today we are here to have these discussions and this conversation. So then, if everything should stay constant as they've requested or as they've said, what's next for all of them? What's next for each of them individually? And what's next for them collectively as opposition as opposed to the ruling party? Is this the end of the road? Is this a second term laid out for President George Weah and the CDC-led government on a plateau? Is it a free walk in the park? Yeah, someone say I'm having a bad network. I'm not sure. Let me see here. Give me a second. Let me see. Yes, give me a second. Let me see. Let me really see what's going on. Please. Many of you are complaining that my video is acting out. Please give me a second. Let me double check. I'm seeing here I have 4 bars, which means I'm good to go per internet connections. This is very, very weird. I hope it's better now. Please let me know if it's better. I'm hearing that I'm having static. Someone say static. I don't like this. This is not good news. And we have a lot of things to talk about. Very good conversations here today. Let me see. Hold on, okay? Let me double check, guys. I'm not sure why it's been static. It's not usually that way. And there is no way I can relocate here right now. Somebody said get out and come back. I'm just here alone. If I get up and come back, which means I might have to end the show. That wouldn't be a good idea. Hold on 1 second. Just hold on. Just give me a second, guys. One second. I'm getting to this. I'm getting to fix this really quick here. Is it much better? Please, I'll need feedback from you while we are here, because location may be the problem. Yeah, you're right. Location might be the problem. Let me turn this music on for a second while you're listening. Just listen for a second here. I'll be back right now. Right now. In the meantime, please be sharing the show. Please be sharing the show. No copyright to this song. Please be sharing the show. A lot to talk about. Please be sharing the show. Some breaks on that. Let's double check here and see if we're good. Please give me feedback really quick. I had to go check on some things there in the back, make sure everything was staying constant. Please give me feedback if it's better, because yes, I did see it from my phone. You were 100% right. To all of you who caught it, that it was blurry. It wasn't good. Please give me feedback really quick as we move forward. So a lot to uncover, a lot to talk about. Thank you so much for your feedback. This is what we love our audience. You guys keep it 100%, keep it real. Sometimes you can be doing my important situation we can't handle, but at least for the most part, yes. The other man, I would deal with him man after the show. The D Curtis man, I would deal with you after the show. Ain't one be talking funny one thing. I would deal with you today over for me and you with Johnny. So yes, let's try to share the show really quick, please. What I'm going to do is I'm in the process of sharing the show as well. Please, let's share the show. Let's go back to that music. Quick, share the show. We'll recognize one or two people. We'll get back and we'll get straight into the conversation here. Today, a lot to talk about, a lot to uncover, like we said. Doesn't mean that the CDC-led government might not be included in this conversation. So please, let's share the show. Please share the show, and share the show. Let's get back to the musical break here. We want to copyright to these songs. Let's do this.
Yeah.
seemed like the Guild Devil that was stuck in Dubai a few months ago has finally been found, because I've seen the Guild Devil in the video. I've seen the Guild Devil in the video. They're dancing at the very end of this music. So yes, so it is safe to report, it is safe to say that the Guild Devil has been located somewhere, probably in Nima County. I'm not sure who found him. Maybe that D. Curtis and a couple of people found him. So unfortunately, it's too late. The reward we had on SKTV for whoever locates the Guild Devil back in Dubai, the time has expired. So D. Curtis, you on your own. You ain't getting nothing from SKTV. Nope. You on your own, brother. But let's recognize one or two people here really quick so we can get into the conversation. I know how far I did get his hand today. Adolphus, welcome to the show. Mr. Bert Denoir, welcome to the show. And I'm sorry I haven't returned your call. I will. Samira Pratt, welcome to the show. Musa Keita, welcome to the show. Integrace, welcome to the show. How are you? You get me shy now. Alexander, welcome to the show. D. Curtis, I ain't telling you welcome to the show, but welcome though. Alhaji, welcome to the show. Che Emmanuel Swa, welcome to the show. Rebecca, is that Gisu? Welcome to the show. Ibrahim Kamara, welcome to the show. Bertha Stewart, welcome to the show. Daniel, welcome to the show. Lionel, welcome to the show. I hope I'm pronouncing your name well. I'm right, I mean. Okay, well, we want to welcome all of you to SKTV as you have just joining us. Sekou and Tel should be joining us here momentarily, very shortly. But we want to lay the basis for this conversation. We want to lay the ground rules here. We want to lay the give you some historical perspective or facts about the CPP. About almost 2 years ago, some group of men and a lady decided to embark on a journey. In this journey, they created, they stimulated, they created, they boosted up the hopes the hopes of the Liberian people through this medium of the CPP. It seemed though it was a good thing. Some might say, well, the reason for which they came together was not a good reason. Everybody's entitled to their views. But the fact of the matter, we realize, we witness the unity within the CPP for a while, for quite a time. And that unity, to some extent, yield a result. As evidenced by that, 2019, the unity brought forth Senator Darius DeLong, who, it must be recorded, ran by himself before or on the Liberty Party and was massively flogged. But with the unity of the CPP, Senator Darius DeLong was elected. With the unity of the CPP, Senator Darius DeLong got a re-election, beat CDC twice in the stronghold, in the city of, in the county of Montserrado, I mean. But not only that, other senators, such as Senator Yombi Kanga Lawrence, also benefited from the unity of the CPP, directly or indirectly, and other people benefit as well. We saw the coming of Boto Kane to the Senate. We saw some serious change. We also witnessed the dismantlement of the CDC-led government within the quote-unquote stronghold Montserrado County. Even after they've spent a lot of money in that county. So I mean, a lot of things happened, even though we might not have agreed with some of the things that happened or some of the people that they were in bed with. but a lot of good things happened for the opposition or the CPP at that time. Now, mind you, want to keep this context in the context of opposition, such as at a bigger picture or so forth. Just before we have been reminded, sorry, it slipped our mind. This was on something that we needed to start off with. We'd like to take this moment, this time, to extend our deepest condolences on behalf of SKTV to the family of Dr. Sawyer, Dr. Amos Sawyer. Sometimes yesterday when we wrote on Facebook, on our own page, and we got lots of some people reaching out about, who was that? And we gave them the name. We didn't publish the name publicly, but long story short, Dr. Amos Sawyer has passed. Peace be to his ashes. We pray that God will comfort the family in this time of mourning. And we are very sorry for the loss of a father, a husband, an ex-president. Somebody asked me yesterday, say, well, but I'm an interim president. I said, well, when you look at the name, what does it ends in president? So it matters whether interim or not. It does matter. He was a president. And a big portion of our politics, he contributed, whether you like it or not, his contribution, he did contribute. So we want to use this time to say our sympathy to the family, those of you that are grieving, those of you that are mourning. We are very sorry for your loss. So we say thanks to our viewers and our listeners. We'll get back to this conversation. So, as we were saying, a lot of people benefited. Same thing with a lot of people did not benefit as well. So it created lots of different feelings within the CPP. Some of us did not support the CPP, and we said here from day one that we did not support the CPP because of some actors in the CPP. And some of especially when they came out with the very first document, it has some discriminatory clauses in it, or that didn't sit well with some of us after reading it, and we made our opinion known publicly, and our views known publicly to the public. It's on record. That's why it's good to have these conversations in open air, your disagreements, and if you were wrong, then we are wrong. Then if needs be to correct the wrong and learn from it, we will. But long story short, and fast forward, today we are here. Just for the record's sake, the CPP is still in existence. We have to clear that out. We are not in a propaganda business. We're not going to be involved in propaganda business. No, we're not in the propaganda business. The CPP is still, per the Liberian Constitution in Liberia, the CPP is still alive. Anyone who tells you the CPP is dead, that is not truth. Either it is their wish or they're somehow not in touch with reality. The reality about this is the CPP is still alive. Whether the Unity Party leaves, whether the ALP leaves, the CPP is still alive because you have 4 constituent political parties part of the CPP. Now, 2, quote unquote, have left. The question that has been bugging me is not that it's not their constitutional rights to leave. Did they actually leave, or did they just say they wanted to leave? Because it's one thing if you sign a lease for 1 year and you say you don't like the house, and you go out in public or you write on your Facebook page that, or anywhere public, and say, just verbalize it or keep it on record and say, I'm leaving that place. It does not mean that the lease is broken, though. You can prick the lease in your head, but you will still be responsible for the payments or so forth. Now, if you don't pay the rent or pay the bills in a house, you could be taken to court, and the court could hold you responsible for upholding for that year. And sometimes, in some instances, you could also be charged extra fees for breaking the lease ahead of time or so forth. So let's keep this into context, because I want to take you somewhere and we have to be realistic about it. The reason I'm using rent, lease, and all these different terms is because it's more applicable in this sense, and it's a little parallel. In other words, it can be used to compare. So comparing this whole CPP framework document that was sent to NEC, from what we know is this thing was supposed to run to 2023 after the elections. Now, mind you, we'll come to what's next for the CPP. But let's speak about people that are deciding to leave or that have left in their head or on paper they've written or in the public they've said they're leaving. The question becomes, the two political parties that are left there, if they decide to hold it, the CPP, they can also hold the Unity Party. They can also hold the ALP from not running because of the framework document that is at NEC. Mind you, that framework document has not been nullified. It has not been withdrawn from the NEC. Joseph Yuma Boaka and Unity Party cannot wake up one morning and say they dissolve the CPP. That's not how it works. It could work in Unity Party. It could work in other places. It could work in the heads and in the minds. That's okay. Nothing wrong with it. You can think you're a millionaire. That's your right. Anybody can wake up one morning and think they have a jet sitting at the back of their house. That is their right. But here's the fact of the matter. Is there actually a jet sitting at the back of your house? So you see, there are consequences when you get into these kind of things. Now, this is not to say anyone is forced to be there. That's not what it means. See, you have to think about this in a broader context. You have to think about the ramification. You have to think about the consequences that come with decisions that you make when you get into an agreement. So if you have your phone bills, T-Mobile, Sprint, whatever, some of us, Cricket, some of us, I haven't heard that name for a very long time. So somebody said, well, you get into a marriage, and if you decide to leave the marriage, that's fine. You can decide to leave the marriage. Who said you can't decide to leave the marriage? But there's a couple of things, there's a couple of responsibilities that follow, such as this. Alimony. Remember now, you can choose to leave, such as alimony. That's one. Child support could follow, especially if there's children. If you guys have anything in common, remember now, together, it could be split into halves. So I'm not saying to you that anybody was forced or is forced to be in the CPP. No, that is not my point of argument. All I'm drawing your attention to is there are consequences when you choose to leave a legal binding agreement. It is not as if you can just walk out. No, that's not how it works. That is not how it works. So when you decide, someone say when you're separated, you're still married, that's truth. You deciding to leave does not mean, and some of you will not like this, but these are facts. This is not anybody talking point. This is not for anybody or against anybody. These are just the reality of legal things. Anything you make legal, there are some responsibility and some burden that come with it. Especially if both parties have not agreed to dissolve or to stop it. No. So yes, the Unity Party can leave. Yes, the ALP can leave. But the question becomes, what are the ramifications? What are the consequences? What happens next? So that's something that you should think about. That's something that you should think about. So fast forward, what's left for the CPP? Legally, the CPP is still there. By default, Alexander Cummings will become the chairman of the CPP. The Liberty Party is still there until the NEC provides a final ruling for which the NEC has hinted us where they are going to rule. So this is the issue. This is the issue. If you decide to leave a legal binding agreement, there are consequences. I just want us to keep that in mind. You can leave. You can leave. You can separate. You can walk away. That's fine. But there are consequences. And the CPP framework document spells out that the consequences for it, you cannot leave and feed candidates or run into an election with your legal name. Let me put it the simplest way. Or let me summarize it that way. So that means, in other words, you cannot be married here today and then go to Labrador and marry somebody else. You can marry in Labrador, that is your right. Please, that is your right. You can go and choose. If you choose to do that, you can go to Labrador, marry somebody's daughter and fool them, or marry somebody's child, son, and fool him, and you bring him to America. But my friend, when that person go to the embassy, they will say, John is married in Labrador, John is married in America, or Mary is married in America already. So sorry, screw you. Bon voyage, bye-bye. So you see how it works. So it's not that you can't do it. It's not that you can't do it. You can do it. That is your choice. You see, the thing about it is, some things must be thought through carefully. Some things must be thought through carefully. But not only that, from the public outcry and from the public, apart from let's do away with the disinformation and propaganda, whether that's from the CDC, from members of the CPP or the Unity Party or other parties. Let's do away from that, from those false propagandas. Let's do away from. Let's come to reality, because you see, if we move forward, then we have to move forward with reality. With reality, and the reality of this matter is, whether you like it or not, the CPP seem to have gotten affected. Again, I stand by what I'm saying, that legally the CPP is not dissolved. You all can pass around with the propaganda and say anything you want to say. Joseph Boaga saying that the CPP is dissolved does not mean that the CPP is dissolved. Either he doesn't understand, or whoever wrote that statement deliberately decided to fool the public. But since we will stick with the facts and reality, then we will stick with it, what's legal and what's factual. The CPP might have problems, might be going through their own problems now, which they got themselves into. But I want you to think about this for a moment. This CPP that they spend time on, some of them spend their resources, some of them did not spend any resource anyways, because it's been reported that some of them stay old, even as they're leaving. They stay old. That's a sign of being very irresponsible. When we say these things, they say this, they say that. But we'll get to the nitty-gritty of those things. We'll get to the nitty-gritty of those things. We'll get to the nitty-gritty of those parts, because it's very, very irresponsible. Very irresponsible and childish. But this CPP that so much was invested in, this CPP that so much hope, out of a sudden, somebody decide to say they're killing the CPP in the head. And you got a bunch of uninformed people that are conditioned to not want the facts because they got people that they take messaging from and just run with it as though the sense of reasoning is limited to somebody telling them something, and whatever that person says, especially, or those people say, especially when those people have been proven over years and over times that they're not trustworthy, but they run with their talking points. That's okay. That's what you choose to do. It's okay, especially it's even worse for those who are in the diaspora. It gets worse for those who are grown-ups, who are fathers, mothers, who have homes, who have jobs, responsibilities, and other things. For you to pass around and regurgitate lies and things that are not founded on factual basis. I'm not sure how you sleep with those lies from people that you know that cannot be trusted. And the facts are right in front of you. You know it. And this is why I'm using different examples. So you spend all this time You spend all this money, you do all this run around to get the CPP the way it is. The CPP is still standing, whether that one person there or that two people there, at least for now, two people there, two political parties there. And out of a sudden, you walk away. You decide to walk away. So I want to focus on or zoom in on the press conference yesterday, just for a little bit. I want to zoom in on the press conference yesterday. Many of us watched it. Some of us have read the transcripts from the press conference. The first thing that caught my attention was those in attendance. Senator Yomdi Kanga Lawrence, Benedict Ure from the ALP, and Joseph Yuma Boakai, who is still legally the current chairman of the CPP. Every time I say that, I will give a smile because these are facts. If he chooses to neglect or abandon his responsibility, that's on him. But he's the current chairman of the CPP. The first thing that caught my attention was three people who were the same three people that started up these noises around here about whether that the CPP or about Mr. Cummings or about the document being altered. All three of them were still seated. You know, many times I've disagreed with Mr. Sekou Kane on this network that Joseph Yuma Boakai and Senator Yomdi Kanga Lawrence are not victims to this whole quagmire. They are not victims to what's going on. They're not. And I say this unrepentantly, and I say stand by that, as evidenced by see the behavior being demonstrated in the public. When you wake up in the morning and someone tells you, let's go have a press conference, and you don't know what's in the press conference as an informant, a grown person, and you just go there and you sit there, the fact that you're even there is a sign that you've agreed to be there because nobody forced you, or you concur with what was said there. So that means they're aware. They know exactly what's up. So there can be no excuse made that they're victims. They don't know what's going on. They knew what's going on from day one, and they know what's going on up until today. Whether that Benedict Ure, or whether that Senator Yomdi Kanga Lawrence, or whether that Joseph Yuma Boakai, they all know exactly what is going on. They're aware. No excuses for them. This is not a mistake. This is actually well planned, and it is being executed as we see on a daily basis. It is being executed in front of our faces. And we cannot ignore that fact. And we will not make excuses for anyone. Wherever people need to be held accountable, they will be held accountable. They will. Wherever people need to be told the truth, they will be told the truth. So they're aware of what's going on. No excuse for that. Let's establish that fact. So the one yesterday, this is the second time, actually, we've seen them have a press conference together, all three of them. The question that I've been asking myself, because we tend to think differently, the question I've been asking myself, what is the next move? Considering the last time we saw all three people had a press conference, we saw this big old noise in CPP that have led today to then coming to the point wherein they're saying that Joseph Yuma Boakai is leaving. What is the next plan? I'm not thinking about the press conference anymore. I'm contemplating now on what is the next move. Because I know for a fact that there is a plan B after the court case. And some of them will not discuss them here. I know for a fact. It's not a coincidence that they were there yesterday. They sent a message of solidarity. They sent a message of unity in doing what is not right. They sent a message knowing that they were doing what they were doing, and they were deliberate about what they were doing. They sent a message to the common Liberian man, saying to them that they cannot compete if it is not their way, if it is not what they say. Everybody should fall in line. Everybody should follow them. So that means if they impose something on you, whether you like it or not, it should be what it is. That unity yesterday is the defiant, is the unwillingness, is the conniving, is the not wanting to take any responsibility but run away from things and think that you can solve problems. That is the unity we saw yesterday. And what's funny and what's interesting at the same time is very soon, very soon, the North will come. Serious loss is about to break up between them. You revert to this video. And that day I'll be laughing, I'll be smiling here. But that's a side point. I'm not going to go that way for now. I want to stay to where I'm at about the unity that we've seen, the temporary unity that we've seen, the temporary solidarity that we've seen to not do the right thing. And it sounds very interesting in our times, right in our faces, that these things can be happening. And people are ignoring the facts. People are ignoring the science. People are ignoring everything. And these are not joking things. Level-headed people would be very concerned. Level-headed people would sit and wonder and start to think. But let's zoom in on a little bit. Let's zoom in on a little bit on Ambassador Joseph Yuma Boakai, Vice President Joseph Yuma Boakai. Normally I'd encourage you to call people by their most recent title. That's how it works. You know, when CDC decided to call President George Weah during the elections, Ambassador Weah, as opposed to Senator Weah, they tried to divorce him from a strategic and psychological standpoint for you to not see him as the current senator who failed at the time, who was not doing anything but just collecting brown envelope. They decided to print him as the peace ambassador. So you start getting people saying Ambassador Joseph Yuma Boakai as opposed to Vice President Joseph Yuma Boakai. But I would encourage you to stick with Vice President Joseph Yuma Boakai. There's a behavioral pattern here, and I chose my word very carefully. No disrespect to Vice President Joseph Yuma Boakai when I said Joseph Yuma Boakai is a smooth crook. I still stand by it up to today. And I meant what I said then. I mean what I said today. I characterize his behavior. I characterize his actions based on what I know, based on the behavioral pattern, based on things that he's done, based on how he's gone throughout his political life. I characterize him as a smooth crook. And I'm not going to change that ever because they're facts. So let's look at the timeline and the role of Ambassador Joseph Yuma Boakai here. Let's look at the timeline and the role of Ambassador Joseph. But let's take it back to Ambassador Joseph Yuma Boakai. First of all, Vice President Joseph Yuma Boakai has participated, has been part of almost all of the corrupt governments in Liberia, starting from 1980 up until today. That is a little concerning to me. He only left when he was fired. He stayed throughout. Now, it doesn't make any sense to me from a professional standpoint that something wrong will be going on somewhere, and you stay there and collect all of the benefits and be part of the wrong, directly or indirectly. And people think that something is not wrong with you or you have not done any wrong. That does not make any sense. But the time is coming. We're getting to a very good spot. I love the spot that we're getting into, where each of them will be scrutinized and what they bring to the table. Because for the next few days, we will scrutinize them as to what to bring to the table and what to take away and so forth. Because this thing has to be nailed down. Fast forward, Vice President Joseph Yuma Boakai served for 12 years as Vice President to Ellen Johnson Sirleaf under one of the most corrupt governments in the 21st century. Can you imagine? I'm not saying in the 80s, the 21st century. He puts it this way: we squandered opportunities in an intellectual way. He puts it that way: we squandered opportunities. One might say he took responsibility for that, which I kind of disagree. He did not take any responsibility. He pushed everything on Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, that she was the head and she made all the decisions and he was just there and not doing anything. Well, that's also not truth. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf was not in the Senate, the president of the Senate. So if he took, let's agree with him that he took orders from Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. So that means he's been aware of the concession deals that have been going on. He's been aware of it. He's been aware of the concession deals. Just before I go on, please, let me just say this to you, to our listeners and our viewers. Please, some people will be sending some links on here, to get your attention or to have you click on it. Don't click on it, please. If you click on it, they will hack your account. They will hack your phone. Once we see them, we'll delete them. But sometimes our eyes might not catch them immediately. If there is any link we want to post, you will get it from SKTV, you will get it from me, you will get it from Chell or Sick, one of us. Please don't click on any link here so that you don't blame us. They've been trying to hack as much as they can. They've not succeeded. Now they're coming on the show and posting fake links and doing all kind of things. Don't click on it, please. I beg you, don't. Even if they say the worst things, don't do it. We are begging you. Or even if they say the best thing that will catch your eye, say, oh, Joseph Yuma Boakai is the next president. Click on the link to support him. Don't click on that link. Or if they say Cummings is the next president, don't click on that link. If you click on it, as a disclaimer, it's on you. You cannot hold responsible. Your account will be hacked, and you get in a situation you can handle. So let's move forward. Tell, I'm waiting for you. I'm waiting for you. I beg you, please don't distract me. Tell them noise. Don't distract me. Come in the back with talk. I beg you. Come in the back or come on, let's do this thing. But yes, so fast forward. Joseph Yuma Boakai has been all around playing the games. He's blamed everyone else but himself. He's pointed fingers to everyone else but himself. As evidenced by that yesterday, he pointed a finger. But for some of us who pay attention, not just to words, to writings, or to other things, to other images, I did pay keen attention to Joseph Yuma Boakai's body language yesterday. I want to say this though, maybe many of you did not get it. And I'm not making an excuse for Vice President Joseph Yuma Boakai here. But Vice President Joseph Yuma Boakai, to some extent, in my honest observation, seemed disconnected from what he was reading yesterday. It seemed as though he read something that was handed to him, whether he agreed with it or not, whether he accepted it or not, he was pushed, he was made to do so. Now, remember, I didn't say he was forced. He was pushed, he was made to do so. The reason I wouldn't add forced to do that, he is of age. And some of you who are crooks also, who like to be associated with crooks and who like to support wrongdoings, even when you know that is wrong, you would term that as being wise. No, that is not being wise. I've always said it. Age does not make anybody wise. Being silent or quiet about things that are going on, bad things, it's not a sign of wisdom. It's not the sign of wisdom. You can't speak when it benefits you and you say you are a leader. No. So yesterday I saw the disconnect in his body language, but not only the disconnect. Many of you Unity Party partisans will hit my guts. But I saw the fatigue. The old man is tired. He is tired. He is tired. There was no connection made in between what he read and himself from a body language standpoint. No. I don't think he would have done that had he not been pushed or encouraged to do it. But oh well, guess what? I also don't say to him that it was a mistake. I also don't say to him that he is not responsible. He's as equally responsible as those who encourage him to do it. He is. He is. So fast forward. The former vice president yesterday, as he was reading, very short, as a matter of fact, very short statement, refused to take questions from the press because they don't want to be held accountable. But what that says also about the former vice president leadership, that everything that the former vice president seemed to have led have failed or crumbled. It has failed or crumbled. Go check his record. Go back and check his record. Everything that he leads fails or crumbles. This brings me to my next point. I said this before and I'll say it again. The Unity Party is done. It's doomed. I'm saying it again. Y'all will not like me for this. Y'all will not like my guts, but it's okay. It is okay. Sometimes we don't like bitter medicine, but we can take it because it can help us. It can help us and it will heal us. The Unity Party set itself up for failure. It was a huge mistake politically, and that was the end, the end of the Unity Party yesterday. Some people who don't understand, some people who don't calculate, some people who don't know this business, some people who don't understand what's going on, think that is a jubilant movement. They think that is worth celebrating. Wait until you see the wahala that coming. Because there are some people in the Unity Party that did not want the Unity Party to leave or did not want the Unity Party to go by themselves. They know by evidence and by facts and by numbers that the Unity Party will not be able to pull it off in a win. They know that. I have argued openly that Joseph Yuma Boakai, if elections were to be held today, will not win Lofa County. It sounds blurry to some of you because you are not seeing it clear. That's fine. It's okay. It's okay. There are some people that are ahead of us, and there are some people that follow. That's cool. That's life. But I've argued this, and I still stick with it. ALP will not make the Unity Party to win the election. As a matter of fact, ALP is, I'm not even sure. Well, in Liberia, I can wake up tomorrow morning, my hardcore arrest or political party or whatever it is. The threshold, the standards are so low that somebody can just eat one day, they go get full. And they collect small thing or small signature in the community, they register a political party. So I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about that. But let's move a little further. Let's move a little further. The Unity Party is about to crack. Well, we say it again. Y'all will cost, y'all will get vexed, but we come and see in a few days. The Unity Party is about to crash. Second of all, the Unity Party sold itself, made a huge mistake in a calculation by internally allowing certain people to control them from the back and even get deep as into some of the secrets. So that means they are indebted to Costa and Yue for the rest of the existence of the Unity Party. And when Costa and Yue do not have their way in the Unity Party, boom, you know what it is. So you see what it is. So that means we're putting a bigger picture to you. So that means you are so screwed up. You have so much sold yourselves that you have no clue how far you've gone. You have no clue. You have no understandings of what you've done to yourselves. No, you have no understanding. No, you have no understandings. Most of you think you are in control of the Unity Party. No, you are not in control of the Unity Party. And the people who are in control of the Unity Party, the people who have worked with their sweat and blood, that sit by and watch on a daily basis and see this party being sold out, they're not happy. And they will speak. They will revolt. They will wake up. They will stand up. Because the Unity Party, for some of them, that's all they've known. This is not the direction they wanted the Unity Party to go into. No. Not to be a ruling party after 12, up to a party who cannot even win 1% or 5% or 10%. Are you kidding me? You're seeing this thing. You're seeing the deeper part of this thing. You think it's fun for you right now. It's fun. It's really, really fun right now. Look, the reason I'm laughing is because we have laid all the possibilities and all the chances on the table for the Unity Party. The picture doesn't look good. The picture doesn't look good. It does not look good at all. Y'all forgot about yourselves so much that you're so out. From an irresponsible standpoint, you're so out. And you think this is a joke. Okay. It's okay. Right now it's all fun. You're in, new love sweet. New love, it's too sweet. Until after 2 weeks, or after 1 week when reality sinks in, that this is not the person that you thought they were, because they were impressing you from the beginning. The new love, it's too sweet. It's very, very sweet. And Costa had told you all that he rejuvenated the political life of Joseph Yoman Boyaka, and your thing is a joke. Your thing is a joke. Your thing is a joke. And if in your mind, as a Unity Party partisan, one of the reasons you hated Alexander Cummings was because you say he didn't support you in the 2017 elections, which eventually led to Joseph Yoman Boyaka being flogged twice. Because Joseph Yoman Boyaka was the only candidate that was flogged twice in 2017. He was the only candidate. We should recall that. And that's facts too. Some people want to ignore it, but that's true. We got to bring it to reality. If you claim that about the ANC or Alexander Cummings that they didn't support you, So you couldn't win the election. You think in 2023, if they don't support you, you will win the election too? They think you're not working. You're eating another account. Imagine comments were not relevant. I mean, in 2017, according to you, Kumi was never relevant, according to you. Fast forward, 2023, where he has gained some form of relevance, or maybe he's still not relevant, or he's still new. Fine, let's give him not relevant. But this not relevant individual, you stuck up. Some of you have created hatred, malice towards him, because in your mind, you don't understand that there is no way Joseph Yuma Boakai could have won. There is no way the election 2023 could have been won by the Unity Party again for the third time. You don't understand that. You pass around always looking for ways to shift blames than taking responsibilities. The scene where Joseph Yuma Boakai stood there and shift blames. He shift blame on Ellen. He shift blames on everyone else, not himself, not taking responsibility of anything. Under him, it should be recorded is that the pa get your house and leave all the children in there and leave them and move out. Say when I pay bill that, ain't not happening to the children like business. In fact, new place that you will be. You go hang out with boys there. And the children at home, but with boys there smoking hookah, they getting drunk, they going to party, they just passing around, you know. And the kind of level Joseph Yuma Boakai brought a few days. And you're supposed to say that leader. Okay, no problem. No problem. This is supposed to be the wise leader, the wise man who is going to rescue Liberia. Okay. I told you before on this show that the fact that Joseph Yuma Boakai admitted after 12 years of taking almost $2 million, his office budget, everything paid for, comes back and tell you that he broke, is a sign that he's not responsible and he lacks management. He can't manage his own resources. One of the reasons I opposed President George Weah in 2017 was his inability to manage his own resources. It was a red flag to me that if he were put in charge of any resource, it wouldn't be good. It wouldn't be good. John Weah, let me tell you something. Give me a second here. Let me tell these people that are doing the lawn, cleaning the lawn out there to turn this thing off because we're having in the middle of a serious conversation. Just 1 second. I'm very sorry. I had to go out there to speak with the people who were cleaning the grass in front of the house there to tell them, that the noise was, disturbing us. But let's move fast forward, please. I'm here as a Unity Party partisan, Joseph Yuma Boakai. But they cry on Joseph Yuma Boakai. You have no clue. Keep supporting blindly. No problem. It's okay. It is okay. So yes, back to what I was saying. One of the signals or signs I had that we're in trouble was President George Weah could not even manage his own resources. For someone who are Christians, it says that to whom little is given, to whom much is given, much is required. If somebody had 80 million of their own money and they didn't save it, they didn't do the right thing, trust me. And not other people money, they will save or they will do the right thing with. No, it's not just possible. Practically, it's not possible. Humanly speaking, it's not just possible. It's not just possible. So if JMB, after 12 years of being in the ruling party, could not manage his own resources, his own pay, and you're supposed to claim that he's a leader, you have management problem. You have management problem. You have a serious irresponsible individual on your hand. You get vexed all you want. Look, I've always said it. I've always said this to you. Some of you will not like me. It's okay. But you respect me. Do well. Because you know the thing I will be saying is these are facts. These are truth. If a man cannot pay his bills in his house or cannot prioritize his priority, you think when you're getting somebody money or money that he never worked for, is the money that you work for, you can't spend it the right way. That money that you never work for, you spend it the right way. You really think so? Yeah. Okay. No problem. No problem. So let's come to the UP a little bit because we'll move fast forward. I've told you before the ALP is zero balance. They're inconsequential. They're not nothing. They will not be anything. ALP will not be anything. They're not nothing. If there will be something, then that means the head has to change. The philosophy has to change. The party's mantra has to change. What they stand for has to change. The people that lead the party has to change or open the party up. So ALP is nothing. I'll come to Senator Yomdi Kanga Lawrence very soon. I'll come to Senator Yomdi Kanga Lawrence very, very soon. So JMB shows you that he is not responsible. He cannot manage his own affairs. To the extent where some of you have made excuses that he lives on loan, so that means he's transparent or whatever it is. Okay. Okay. Now, you could live on loans based on different factors. The question becomes, what is he putting down as a collateral for the loans? You don't just go places and they just give you loans. There must be collateral. Have you asked that question? There must be some things that you're seeing. We're coming back right here. We'll come back right here. And you will see for the next few days. We'll come back right here again. We'll discuss the same thing. And we'll say we told some of you before. So the Unity Party, all that thing that you see them passing around talking, the party, we'll go. And we'll form a new alliance. And Joseph Boaga, we will from the get-go, and Joseph Boaga will be the stand-up. First of all, the stand-up bearer for A. And we're bringing other parties. Let me tell you something. There is nobody in the right mind that will want to join these bunch of noise makers. Nobody will want to do it. I'm saying it today. There is nobody in the right mind will want to join these bunch of noise makers talking about they going to form a new alliance. Most of them don't pay dues. They're stingy and broke. They're not responsible. They don't pay the dues. Most of them out for the same system. They want the same thing to be happening. They're not comfortable with George Weah because George Weah recruited his own criminal there, his own crook that he brought around him. They're not giving them a chance to see the daylight. So they pays off. That's why they're all about, wanting. They don't want change. No, they don't want change. They're comfortable with the system. They just want someone that they can control. that they can pull by the nose and position. Then they sit in the back and make decisions to benefit them. They don't want change. They really don't want change. They really don't want change. Who in the summer also, I hear them talking about Dr. Cassette. Let me tell you something. Dr. Cassette might be dressing like a pimp 24/7, but he's not a fool. Dr. Cassette might be advocating for a helicopter to land, but he's not a fool. He ain't got money passing around the wisdom of people. Dr. Cassette's primary objective right now might be solely focused on his helicopter. That's his new agenda. But rest assured that he's not a fool, though. No, he's not a fool. He is not a fool. Yep. He is not a fool. He is not going after what he's seen. He is not going to sit around and let anybody use him to spend his money, mesmerizing, and then dropping later. That's not going to happen. That is not going to happen. That is not. So the question becomes, where do they even get money? Talking about to raise money, no raise money. How can you raise money? All the people who talking BB money, all of them are beggars. They're broke. All the people who making BB more for you, all the United Party people who can be talking on here, who can be making BB more, they're a bunch of broke jokers. I say, they're broke. Fine, they get sponsor nothing. They don't pay to the party. As evidence by that, you see Mo Ali than wanted to, when the turning over ceremony, Mo Ali than wanted to sell a t-shirt. They're broke. They're very, very broke. Costa is a hell of a beggar. He's broke. He cut in small deal on the cover. They want to put him. See this here comes against small cut. They using the path. Whenever Dr. Cassette kind of dropping small thing, they path. So you can make small noise based on who drop, who drop small thing. You woke up 4 o'clock in the morning, talk a bunch of nonsense. Feed you a bunch of unrepentant lies that don't make any sense. You pass around to your head and stuff up. You regurgitate everything he said or everything he says. Okay, that's cool. But the fact remains, they are broke. I told you before. Election costs money. They're not cheap. Tell me, these few that are watching the United Party, they say, I don't know what they're having or whatever it is. Bunch of draft-fair young men and draft-fair older men. I don't even think the past 30 or the reach 25, all passing around there making fool of themselves. How much did they collect? What did they collect? You see, these are things that need to be taken into consideration. You're passing around, you're joking. You're joking. You think politics are cheap? You think politics cheap? You really think politics cheap? Politics not cheap. So where are they going? Who are they going to merge with? Who really willing to work with them? On what level? What did they bring to the table? Go check the record. Go check the record. They have not even been able to pay their dues. They're not up to date. Not only that they left irresponsibly, they're not up to date on paying their dues. That is irresponsible plus irresponsible. The irresponsibility to leave. So what is the way forward for the opposition? What do they do next? Senator Yomli Kanga Lawrence, as we speak currently, apart from being senator, she is a suspended political leader. And I'm not sure if the 3 months have elapsed and she hasn't paid her due. I'm not sure what the next step is going to be. If she's going to be expelled from the party. She does not have control of the Liberty Party. Let nobody fool you. She has control of Steve Zago, who wants to run another term in Lofa County, and he thinks that he can gain the support of Joseph Yuma Boyka. I want to see we ticket Steve Zago run 2023 if the Liberty Party is not under the control of Senator Yomli Kanga Lawrence. We ticket him will run maybe United Party, or he will go as an independent because he cannot go register as Liberty Party partisan. He is suspended too. He didn't pay una due. So you see, this is just a beautiful nonsense that you guys are in. A very beautiful nonsense. And some of you are passing around laughing and thinking that it's a joke. When we try to point the facts and reality, guess what happened? You'll say we hit this one. Oh, this person is mad. Oh, this person is mad. Oh, this person. And listen, my friends, no one is mad, but we must put facts to where they belong. The same enthusiasm, the same passion, the same energy are used to speak out against the ill from the CDC-led government, the incompetence, the ineptitude, the irresponsibility of the CDC-led government, President George Weah. And the same energy I'm using here to speak. How can you say I'm jealous? How can you say I'm mad? How can you say, oh, it's hurting? No. And we want a different Liberia. Let's be balanced now. Let's be balanced. The question is, Joseph Yuma Boakai left. Where is he going? Where is he going? Where is he going? So this is just a big old mess that they're in. And for now, it looks like it's a joke. But as time goes by, you will see where the real problem lies. You get to see Yomdi Kanga Lawrence. You get to see this person. You get to see that person. So the question becomes now, what are some of the advantages of the ANC or the Liberty Party? Should they still keep the CPP label? Should they still keep the CPP name? So these are some of the things that they have to do. Not only that, let me tell you something. Let me just tell you something that you might not be aware of. They have the ability to negotiate. Not only from a financial standpoint, not only from an international name recognition standpoint, not only from connections, they have the ability to negotiate. Whether they want to still keep the name CPP, it will be up to them. Whether they want to go to a different brand, it will be up to them. So there are a lot of different options on the table. There are a lot of different things that can be brought to the table here. There are a lot of different options. For example, I know for sure Tiawan Konglo will not work with these. It's not going to happen. He's not going to go where with Joseph Boakai and all these other programs after he's openly criticized the Unity Party. That's for sure. I know my boy Dado Kase, he might dress like a pimp, but he's not fool enough to go say himself a failure. He's not foolish enough to do that. In other political parties. So the question becomes, this is a hard thing. And even if somebody were to go to say they want to negotiate with the Joseph Yuma Boakai group, what are they going to negotiate on what? Joseph Yuma Boakai is a stand-up bearer. He doesn't want no competition. Joseph Yuma Boakai is not only a stand-up bearer, he doesn't want no competition. Joseph Yuma Boakai is broke. And Joseph Yuma Boakai has set the standard. He already got his 2 president and vice presidential candidates, which over the next few months we'll figure out which one of them will be who will be the vice president. So you're not coming to the table and say you won't be vice president. You will have to battle Yomdi Kanga Lawrence and what he mean, Bernard Ayue. So where it leaves you in a tight spot. So your options are limited. So basically, you set yourself up for failure. I really want to see over the next few weeks who this group of people are going to be able to convince to come to the side. I try to process it, but it's still not making logical sense. It's not adding up. There's no possibility. It's not realistic. So, and more likely so, the case for the court will be kicked out. So then where do you have? Where do you have to go? What next do you do? What is your next move? So it is a tight spot to be in. It's a difficult place to be in. It's also an interesting place to be in. But hey, guess what? That's where the opposition has put itself. Now, just before we start to get to take calls or get to the lines, which we will at some point, just before we decide to do that, is this an automatic win for the CPP, for the CDC? Because that's what we've heard. Is this an automatic win for the CDC? I'd say no. I'd say no. It's not an automatic win for the CDC. It's not an automatic win for the CDC. Hold on one second, guys. Please hold on one second. I'm trying to get the number here for the phone so that we can open the line very soon. Okay, let me get it here so I can type it in here. It's not an automatic win for the CDC. And the reason I'm saying this is you have to understand history. You have to know history to think that this is an automatic win for the CDC. No, it's not an automatic win for the CDC. As evidenced by that 2017, before 2017 elections, the collaboration that was going to be formed initially did not hold. It didn't hold. It didn't hold. There is a picture circulating of George Weah, President George Weah, and some members of the CDC, some members of the opposition, such as, I think, Councillor Brumskin is on there. I think Penela Ure is on there. The only person I didn't see there was Jose Yumabata because he was the front runner at that time for the Unity Party. And I also see George Weah on there. That broke apart. That broke apart. So this is shortly to say, just before we start taking calls, that the CDC is not having a festival, or it's not a walk in the park. It is not a walk in the park for them. So they shouldn't think that this is a walk in the park. No, this is not a walk in the park. And no, that's not how it works. Let me send out this link. This is not how it works. Give me 1 second, guys. I already got the number here. Let me post this link to you. All right, I just sent it to you. I just sent it to you, Monk. You can definitely come on. You said you wouldn't come on all video. So yes. So this is not how it works. What is going to be at the advantage for the CDC standpoint is who can better negotiate, who can make the case, who is able to step out. So, folks, we'll start taking calls here to get your contributions. Please place your calls to that number, and I'm making sure my phone is all set and ready to go. Yes, it looks like it's all set, ready to go. So yes, place your call. So yes, so it's not a win-win situation for the CDC. No. Let nobody fool you. But not only that, the CDC has bigger problem than this, but I don't want to focus on the CDC today. We're zooming on the CDC and tell you exactly what's going on in the CDC. You think the CDB having wahala? Wait a year, but the CDC, the noise are there, small noise. The noise that they small noise. Yeah, so we'll wait for your calls here. So yes, there is still a pathway for the opposition. Yes, caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from, please?
You ready?
Yes, we're ready to take calls. What's your name? Where are you calling from, please?
Yeah, hi, and Steve, I was this is Munir, the general. How are you today? Thanks for the show, man.
Yes, Munir. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Well, you broke everything down and you said it before, and you have been saying it. And some of us on our show, we have said it, and I want to repeat myself again. The few supporters that supported Mr. Bouaka, they should understand that UP is over. Because of CPP, UP was relevant. But CPP is dead. And not all the supporters are happy. We've seen them all over the place. We see people saying it, but it just proved to us that Joseph Bouaka lacked leadership. He was pressure, but hey, he would take responsibility. So it just shows like people why they refuse to support this man. And I want to say this to them again. They complained that Mr. Cummings did not support Mr. Bouaka in 2017. And they lost. At that time, nobody knew Mr. Cummings. Now Mr. Cummings is so powerful. How possible is he can win? And Liberians rejected them before, and they will reject them. It's either George Weah or Alex Cummings. The competition is between President Weah and Mr. Cummings. We all know that. That is why they're fighting this man. That is why they're doing. But I'm so happy Mr. Cummings is standing strong and he has not dropped anything. He's still consistent in his message. And he has shown the Liberian people that if you want to run for office, you should be prepared and you should be prepared to serve. That is why he's going around the country to serve the people. The only chance they got to win unless we do campaign. But we are ready for them any day, any time. We are waiting for 2023. No matter what happens, Liberia will get the best leader that they deserve.
Thank you.
I want to say thank you for the show, and to all my UP brothers, it is not late. Mr. Bouaka political career is over. Mr. Yure, they are over. Don't listen to them. It's up to you to make your own decision. Don't be fooled. If you want to fool Mr. Bouaka, then I'm sorry to on a train. I don't even have a electric on it to move.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from, please?
My name is Zach. I'm calling from North Carolina. How are you today?
Yes, I'm doing very well, Zach.
Yeah, thanks for the topic, not a discussion. But I think it became evident that the CPP was not going to hold, and it was just so much dysfunctional.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't think nothing was going to mend the relationship. So it's just good. Like you stated earlier, in 2017, you saw Weah, Bromskin, and Ure and Coleman came together in Ghana. I think that's the photo you were talking about.
Yes, sir.
And they tried to form a collaboration. Yeah, they tried to form a collaboration, but it wouldn't work. And Weah went on to recruit the NPP and LA style of party, so that worked. So this collaboration, CPP, was not going to work. It was so much dysfunction in there, it was just split. Everybody go their part and see where they can move from there.
Okay. Thank you so much. All right. Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from, please? Please, if you call. Oh, God. Let me call this person back. Please, if you call and we don't pick up, for some reason it's not fixed away, I can put you on hold. If you
Hello?
Yes, caller, I'm very sorry. We lost you there. What's your name? What's your name? Where are you calling from, please?
This is Jimmy Eastman calling from Washington, D.C.
Yes, Mr. Eastman, welcome to the show.
Yes, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
I mean, there was a lot of writing on the wall that the position of UP was to coronate GMB. Why then was the ANC thinking that any other decision or any other outcome could have come in their unison. It was quite clear that they didn't want the standard bearership or the leadership to be contested.
Okay.
So all those signs on the wall, and I say this because it shows your vision, your ability to discriminate or to understand what is going on. You know, if you couldn't see the writing on the wall that they were not in favor of a contested leadership, then what else can you see in the future? You know, we're talking about discernment. You need discernment to navigate the country. And if you can't even see in front of you that these people were not willing to do any other route except to coronate GMB, then what can you see later? I mean, that's what I'm saying. Why couldn't everybody understand this from the beginning, that these guys were not willing to contest that position?
That's a valid question and a very important point. I will hope some of these questions, we'll write some of these questions down whenever we have the political leader here of the ANC, Mr. Lezanas Cummings. Hopefully we can bring it up to him. But that's a very good question, and that's a question for the ANC party at large and the political leader to answer. But thank you so much. All right. Bye for now. All right, let me get this other caller. Sorry, guys, if you call and I don't pick up, it's just probably I'm on the other line. So let's get this other caller on. So yes, so a lot of questions. Yes, caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from, please?
Hi, this is Ben, the Undercover Solution. How are you?
Yes, Ben, doing very well. How are you?
Yeah, good. So I kind of I like a lot of your analysis that you gave, but when you kept making reference to
My man, you're going in and out. We can't hear you. We can't hear you going in and out.
for the fact that the people leader is from Over County.
My man,
That's exactly
Ben, the people cannot hear you.
because
Hello?
hello.
Yeah, we can hear you now. We were hearing you first. I couldn't even hear you.
Okay. Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes, much better. Thank you.
Okay, so one second. Okay, so what I was saying here is this. I said when it comes to Dr. Kasser, the Unity Party cannot work with him because he's also from Lofa. And per the Constitution, you cannot have the VP and the second candidate from the same county. So they would not go with Dr. Kasser route. So that is automatically out of the question. Now, when you look at the other parties in the country, so far, there's not anyone that is standing out so far that has money. So then again, it comes down to this, to see who has the money here. And when it comes to Gonglo from Nimba, yes, he is a formidable candidate. But however, he does not have the funds right now to run through this country. And this is why some of us are so afraid now. Looking at how things are, you can say that these guys are just giving this election back to Georgia. That is not something that we want to ever see happening. But if you don't have a formidable candidate going against this guy, it's going to be a waste of time.
Okay.
It's going to be a waste of our time because we'll have these same criminal guys remaining in power. And if you think CDC is stealing now, just wait until you give them the second chance. It will root everything out like brain till they carry it. Thank you very much. This is the other conversation. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Ben.
Yeah.
All right. Mr. Kane, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I was driving and watching and listening. I mean, I just could not resist. I said, no, I have to come on this show. I have a lot to say. But since you are taking calls, we will listen to some of the callers and then I will say something later.
No, let's go for now. I think we've
Okay, if you have nobody on hold right now, then
I have one more caller. I have one caller. Hold on.
go ahead.
Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from, please?
Well, this Cyrus, I was calling to be your co-host. I thought Sick was off the show today.
Yeah, my man. I sent you the link, but
And then you don't you go, they don't know how to join the show.
no, he didn't want to jump via video.
Oh no,
Yeah,
the best one to come on video.
So I was calling via audio to be on the show, to be one of the panelists today. Via audio. So anyway, I've been listening to the show, Steve. You made a very salient point concerning the whole CPP. We all knew the CPP was never going to survive. The moment it became evidently clear that Alexander Cummings wasn't going to settle for second position, that was the end of the CPP. The only reason we keep dragging it this long because Joseph Boaga and his team, they never had an exit strategy. They wanted to lead the CPP, they just didn't know how to do it. If you listen to Comedy with a little interview or press conference he had today, he said it. If you're going to accuse someone of a crime in a collaboration, the man was accused is stay in court. Why would you want to exit the CPP when the accused is yet to be found guilty? So it was already in the work. This has been put up a long time ago.
Right.
That's why the lead guy in the CPP, we happen to be there that year, he was the one making the loudest noise because he ain't going anywhere. I mean, how can your man contest the presidential election and end up with less than 26,000 votes to be a vote within the CPP? That is not a disgrace. But in politics, there is always risk to reward. It was a learning experience for Mr. Cummings because from day one, some of us told him that there was no political incentive for joining the CPP. We all knew that collaboration don't work in like brain politics. I mean, easily because it's more of individual thing. It's not an institutional thing. We are seeing collaboration come and fade away. The only way collaboration works, except you got a candidate who is the white collar candidate, and everybody else going to fall on him. And in the case of Cummings, he was never going to settle for that. So that's where all the internal wrangling all started from. And the thing is, Joseph Boaga and he just want to leave the CPP. They want to damage the brand. Because if you talk about like brand politics at the moment, it's only the ruling party for the CPP.
Mm-hmm.
And the second thing Joseph Boaga was calculating was, how can the CPP collapse on my watch when I'm supposed to be the head of statement here, the peacemaker, the steady hand. But then there is something they call the political calendar. They're looking at the time. Time was running out.
Right.
If we cannot push Cummings overboard, then we might as well just jump off this train while it's running full steam ahead. And that's exactly what he did. The goal was to push Cummings out. You either come and settle for number 2 position. There was nothing to call CPP. It was a coronation. It was never a competition. Joseph Boaga came up an entitlement mindset that he should be the head. So if anybody opposing Joseph Boaga, automatically you're the enemy within the CPP. That's what we've been saying for over a year. Like I said, they wanted out. They just didn't know how to do it. On the out of desperation and no way to wait, he has exhausted every remedy there is there. You know what, this is not working. Let me just get out. And that's exactly what he did yesterday. But we knew how it was going to end up. And the calculation was very simple. You can only have a CPP except that it's a unanimous ticket. Anything short of that, everybody going to the election and let people make it into round number 2, and then we can rally around you. If that's the situation.
So quick question. Quick question just before you go. What would you foresee or suggest as the way forward for the opposition?
The way forward now, for me, the way how I see it, we will see the leadership ability and the negotiation skills between Cummings and Boaga. Because everybody needs to go out there and rally other political parties and form your own coalition. You got ICOP, you got PUP, you got other parties out there. Mill Jones party is still out there. Yes, the 4 collaborating parties already fractured. So they will go both ways. A portion of Labour Party will go to BP Boaga because you got Nomi Kanga in Geelong. You got Musa Belete on the other end. So technically, Unity Party is split. The ALP, I don't even consider a party, is a social club because all the executive committee is now almost the same day. They don't have a party. And the Unity Party itself is split. If Joseph Boaga cannot put the Unity Party together, what makes you think he can put a coalition together? Unity Party is still split between Madam Sally wing for the Joseph Boaga wing of the party. So technically, Cummings is already having the collaboration. It's another collaboration already because he got 50% or 30% of every party within the CPP. You see it? So now, it's about showing your leadership ability. It's about showing your negotiation skill. You go out there and build another coalition and then separate yourself from the people that left and tell them, oh, I'm a better person. I know how to get this thing going. And then you build your own coalition
negotiation and take it into November of 2023. That all coming can do. This is what your leadership ability is being tested again. Because you see, one thing that surprised me for coming in as much as I'm supporting for your ideas, when you work in marketing and in corporate, the very first thing you learn, they call it differentiation strategy in marketing. You got people, you got Coca-Cola. Everybody got a competitive edge. When you go into the market, you must tell the customer that I am different. There is something unique about me that the other guy don't have. He doesn't have. For me, we look at this whole thing concerning the CPP. How do you go into this collaboration? Tell me like Brentford that I'm different. I earn my money endlessly. I never worked in government before. I don't have any history of corruption. How can you form a collaboration with Waka and the URE, with all these people that have this inter-record in government? Don't forget, it was Unity Party that gave us CDC. So, at certain point in time, people start thinking, oh, this is more of a desperation rather than something you're passionate about because you keep on cutting your own brand. You want to separate yourself, and at the same time, trying to link up with these guys. So, everything happening now was coming in for. There was about decision making and knowing when to make that decision. It was getting a smart idea for him to form out the collaboration. The whole idea of the CPP, look at the people who founded the CPP. Who came up with the original idea with the same Mo Ali and the Baga Jaliban taking phone calls? When you thought that they were going to build a CPP to send everyone to come and stuff, it was their way of going back to power, knowing fully well that the Unity Party brand had been destroyed. Unity Party is not going to win election ever again like brand politics. I don't know. You see, sometimes you politics, when you want to make an analysis, just forget about the mathematics and the numbers. Just look at the history alone. There was never a time in Liberian history that a party left power and came back. Not even the two-wing party. The two-wing party ruled Liberia for 133 years. I will make the analysis. Even the NPP that won with the highest margin of victory in presidential politics, in recent memory, the moment Chancellor left the stage, NPP is never the same. What made it think Joseph Waga after Unity Party ruled Liberia for 12 years? They're going to come back and reclaim power. The Liberian people were told to make Georgia a second-term president than to make Joseph Waga president for the second time as a Unity Party president. It won't work. So, but we'll keep watching. We say never say never, but we see how this thing going to pan out. It's on the shoulder of Mr. Coming to go and show his leadership skill, his capacity, data network, his contact, make some phone calls and bring other people on board and expand your correlation and then take it into 2023.
Thank you, sir.
So I we're for the time, guys. Let me take a lead now.
Yes. Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from? Mr. Cannon will come to you so that you can know. Yes, caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from, please? Hello?
So I say
Caller?
I'm good. I'm not in a hurry, so I'm home. So no worries.
Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from, please?
Yeah, Steve, how you doing?
Yes.
This is Bert. I want to ask both of you. I want to ask Brother Sekou, and I want to ask both of you so that you can answer this question. Today, I'm not here for politics. Yesterday, I sent you a picture from NEC with Yomli and Musa Delete.
Yes, sir.
That's one. What became the outcome of that meeting? And two, Brother Sekou, on the show, 2018, when I began knowing you, to follow you, we were 25, 30, 35, and so on and so forth. I want to ask Brother Sekou. Brother Sekou, do you think I, but they know, have my own instinct and a learned person that came in this country at the age of 37, went to school on my own. Let me speak my brother from Neymar, Naya Bokwa English. My own volition. Don't you think I have my own volition and my own thinking to think, not to follow somebody or not for somebody to brainwash me? And the second question is, Brother Sekou, are you brainwashing me because I love you, I follow you, I follow all of you? That's my question today. Let's see who answer it. And the third question is, now, Mr. Kumich have turned in a document. What would be your reaction? Thank you, Steve.
Thank you. Well, Mr. Kane, first of all, I'm very confused about the the video. I don't know what went on to NEC, but from the video he sent me, and I think I got it from other people as well. You can see a couple of, I'm not sure if they're Liberty Party partisan, but yet they were wearing the shirt bearing the flag of Liberty Party, and they were, hitting on the vehicles of Musa Bilede or other leaders from the Liberty Party, from the recognized Liberty Party at NEC. And we have to be clear on that. I saw them hitting the vehicle, and the first thing that ran to mind was, since he wanted to know my reaction to it, the first thing that ran to mind was, it does not make any sense to me. If you claim that Musa Bilede is not the leader of the party and Musa Bilede does not have the party, no problem. You don't need to go and be hitting a car or be hitting things that belong to him or to the party or whatever it is. You go form your own meeting too, and you go to net too, and you'll be passing with your car too. It's simple. Why go, antagonize people and start throwing stones and start, So I thought, and to Mr. Brett Denoir, when he sent that video, I wrote there, The reason I wrote that was because there are some things that I personally don't share. Let's take, for example, and nobody dare try that to me, because if you try that to me, I'll block you as a friend, or I'll block you or whoever it is from Messenger. You can't send me somebody naked picture or sexual video or so forth. I'm not into that. I'm not interested in it. If you want to see somebody nakedness, you can go ahead and do it. That's not my thing. So if you start to promote violence and start to send me images where there's violence and so forth, I'm not really into that space. So I go away from it. So what those people did yesterday, well, I don't know who they are. I don't know if they're pay agents or, people just hustling and looking for $10, $5. People can do anything these days in Liberia for small thing. Most people can do it. So I'm not sure if they collected a small thing to go and misbehave, but I think it was not necessary. I think they put themselves in harm's way because those cars were moving, and somebody could have gotten hit. I don't think it was the right thing to do. So yes. So about the document business, I will turn it over to you. That my honest view on it. That's what we say that day on the show. Which document did they want in terms of original? Was it the one that is a NEC? Or was it the ceremonious one that is signed on Zoom or so forth? Which one was the original document? So per the information that we have, SKTV has, we really didn't plan on going to that, but since he asked that question, the letter that was filed, that was sent to the court from the ANC, we have a copy of the letter. It stated that they were providing clarity and context to the judge that there was no such thing as original document on May 19th, but the document that is considered original or so forth, that the ANC submitted to the NEC, is what they submitted to the judge from the information that we've gotten from the letter that we've been able to read. And this is just a summary of it. I'm not reading the entire letter here, but that's just a summary of it. And yes, and that's where we are with this. So Mr. Sekou, your other question that is directed to you, whether this or that, I will leave it for you to please answer, and then let's get into your view and your point about the whole thing, because I thought here today plenty. I was just waiting for rescue. You won't tell.
Okay.
That deal with me too.
no, it's good. It's good. Sometimes when I come on here on the show, trust me, especially when I'm by myself, that's when I can be at my best. Because you know what? I don't have to share the stage with anybody. Whatever I want to say, I will say it, nonstop. I also enjoy having conversation with my colleagues around, because we can always disagree on issues, so that we agree. And, it's always fun to be on SKTV. But to my brother, before I go into this whole issue, I want to greet everybody first. I want to say good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you are, to all of you. I am not supposed to be on here today because this is one of my busiest days. But because of the importance of this particular conversation, I decided to run faster and come here and at least contribute. So to Mr. Brodenoir, you asked me if you are a human being, a grown up, mature, educated, having your own mind, If you ask me, yes, of course, you do. Are you intelligent? Of course, I believe so. But those things are on a personal level. When it comes to politics, that's why I've said over and again that you have been brainwashed, that everything you said is what you hear from Costa, and that's what you believe. That doesn't mean you don't have any mind of your own. You do have a mind, but sometimes people can get carried away. If I were in your position, being not only a member of Vote, but being a founder, one of the founder of Vote, I would have directed all my time and energy to promoting my candidate for Vote, which is Mr. Jeremiah Wapo, Dr. Jeremiah Wapo. But you spend less time speaking of your own party, speaking of any promotional aspect of your party or your candidate, but you are there following the talking points. Some of the things that don't even make sense. If you can come over and again said, I've said this, Kumi is saying this, let Kumi come on and apologize. That can make somebody to think about your judgment, about the way you see things, or who you're listening to. The case is in court. This person have not confessed to say to anything, or the court is yet to render judgment as to whether or not this person is guilty. But you telling the person to come and apologize, somebody will say, "Is this person okay?" That doesn't mean you are okay, but you are being carried away by the noise, by the people you believe in, people you listen to, what they are telling you, you believe in that. So you think Cummings has committed some crime somewhere that he's guilty of, you want him to come and apologize. That's why I've always said that you listen to Costa most because of that. You're being brainwashed to the extent where you don't take your time to understand issue on your own. You just follow whatever you hear from him. And I still believe that. Because if you were really thinking for yourself, you will spend more time and energy, promoting who you believe can be president, can do better, but not Joseph Boakai, not Cummings, not worrying about what Cummings is doing, what Cummings is not doing. You will worry about what your person can do for Liberia. Convince every Liberian as to why you think Mr. Jeremiah Wapo is the best person. That's the only reason why I've said that. But yeah, I don't doubt your intelligence as a human being, but that is on a personal level. But in terms of politics, you're following people, and that's why your action shows. So, Steve, let me say this. I didn't follow the entire show as to what or some of the things you might have already said. But there are a few things. There are a few things that I think that need to be highlighted, even if you or some of your listeners or callers might have mentioned, because I didn't follow the entire show. First of all, what happened yesterday, the Unity Party pulling out of the CPP, is not a surprise. Yes, it was like overdue. We expected this a long time ago. So it was not like breaking news. But what happened, what it does, it speaks to the fact that Joseph Numa Boakai and the Unity Party have just shot themselves in the foot. In a sense, Unity Party was only relevant. Unity Party was only in the discussion for the presidency because of the collaboration. And not only because of the collaboration of three parties, and basically those three parties now have been reduced to 2.5 parties. ANC, for the most part, everybody agree that ANC is the fastest growing party in the Republic of Liberia. That's just a fact. And this idea of CPP also, some may say, Kumi is not supposed to join the CPP. But joining the CPP, I believe, have added more to Kumi's. It has more positive effect on Kumi than negative. First of all, he has gotten more name recognition as to who Kumis is. Second of all, Kumis was given the opportunity to lead the CPP, and he showed some leadership. Now people know what Kumi is capable of doing. It's going to be hard to know that if you just go with the ANC. But Kumis work with other people. And not only that, he produced a result. So, Kumis joining the CPP was not a bad thing. It gives him the opportunity to work with other people, to also for Liberian people to see as to who is Kumis. Can he work under pressure? Can he lead? And it is inarguable that Kumis led the CPP to what? To a victory, a resounding victory. That's a fact. We also know that Kumis led the CPP with no noise. There might be a little disagreement here and there, but he led the CPP throughout and produced some results. Beyond that, if you put CPP, ANC in the Unity Party right now, let's agree now. Everybody go part way. You go whatever you want to go. Guess what? That is good for the ANC. While the ANC is the fastest growing party, this Unity Party is the fastest declining party. That's just a fact. Unity Party, the membership Unity Party had 2017. They might not have half of that right now. If they have half, they will now have 75% of the support that they had in 2017. That's one. Number two, Unity Party was the ruling party in 2017. There were a lot of government officials who wanted to remain in their position, even though they didn't trust the leadership of Boakai or whatsoever. But they wanted to remain in their position. They and their family, they supported the Unity Party because they wanted to remain. They wanted the status quo to continue because they were already employed and moving on. That's one. Number two, there are a lot of people that thought Boakai was not giving the chance to show his kind of leadership because he said it was a race car park. He was not given the opportunity to showcase what he has in store as a leader. Now, Boakai is not giving the opportunity. Not only the CP on the side of the CPP, Boakai is given the opportunity to be the leader of the Unity Party. Guess what happened? Unity Party is in disarray. Nobody to run the Unity Party. Unity Party is left with Mo Ali and few others who cannot even manage themselves. If you think of Unity Party, that to say that this is the party that managed Liberia for 12 years, this is the party, you will be like, no, this is not true. Now, what did Boakai do since 2017 with the Unity Party? Think about it. People in Uganda right now making decisions for the Unity Party. Look at them. You know why Costa came in and said that he was the one that rejuvenated the political life of Boakai? And because there's nobody else. And he was right when he said that. But Steve, let me tell you this. The Unity Party is dead. The only life for Unity Party was the CPP. Now the CPP is being destroyed. Guess what's going to happen? The second party was supposed to be the Liberty Party. Now, Liberty Party legally is with Cummings now, supporting Cummings. When I say legally, it means that Liberty Party recognized by the National Election Commission is with Cummings. Let's assume 50% go to Cummings, 50% go, 50% with Yombli, 50% with Musa. From time Bronskin was alive, may his soul rest in peace. Liberty Party was not a party to win the presidency of Liberia. And they know that. And to add insult to injury, after Bronskin's death, there was nobody in the Liberty Party that could even come and stand to be president. Because why? That's now what they can do. And that's the reason why they broke down their own house for the support of other people. So Liberty Party is nothing to think about when it comes to the presidency. However, if you pull 50% on each side, Liberty Party under Yombli, Liberty Party under Bronskin. Liberty Party is the broke party. When I say broke, very broke. It was Musa ability that gave life to that party financially, even when Bronskin was alive. That's how Musa ability became the campaign chairman for the Liberty Party when Bronskin was running for president. Musa ability came to the rescue of that party financially, and that's not a secret. We all know that. So without Musa ability in that version of Yombli Una party, we are yet to see how they're going to manage themselves financially. That's just a fact. So look at it now. Boakai has nothing. He's broke. ALP is not a party. That's just family, organization. It's Jure, Costa, and Talia, nothing else. And those little followers that follow Costa on Facebook, and those are nothing. So if you put everything together, Steve, you look at it, at least ANC being a fastest growing party, if they're going to run as is right now, and Cummings is able to reach out to other, political organization, little organization here and there, the election, this coming election will be between ANC and the CDC. Boakai got nobody. He has some people that will follow him based on tribe, based on county solidarity, and based on that name. Some people who feel like, Unity Party is our home no matter what. But how many are they? The fact is clear. Boakai ran 2017. What happened? He only won Lofa. And he has not done anything to even add to that number. That number has reduced significantly. So even if election was to be held today, Boakai will not get the same number he had 2017. Not only that you have not shown leadership, but the Unity Party is split. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf is powerful than Boakai, financially potent than Boakai. He had leverage in the country and outside of the country than Boakai. So whole side of the Unity Party, they are now with just Boakai. You know that. And she's now with Boakai. So at the end of the day, it's going to be between the ANC and the CDC for major parties. But then you look at again ACO, you look at the PDP, you look at all the other parties. ACO should have been even one of the major political parties in Liberia, giving the number of people that they could produce in the election. But let's take ACO for example. The possibility, let's say ACO decide to merge with a party or to form a collaboration or coalition with a party. What is the possibility of ACO going with CDC? Very slim. Because if you want change, if you want good governance, if you want respect for the rule of law, if you want to respect the Constitution, and you want the people to take you seriously, you don't want to be with people who are noted for being corrupt by the United States, by the European Union, by the African Union, by ECOWAS, by OAU, that the government of George Weah is corrupt. Everybody agree with that. So the chances of ACO going with CDC, to me, is slim. Secondly, Unity Party. Unity Party was in power for 12 years. Unity Party, CDC was elected because of the failure of the Unity Party. And now Unity Party got no leader. Boakai is supposed to be the leader, but Boakai is tired. Boakai not being controlled, being managed by those guys that cannot be trusted. So what happened? You know, you have to look at these parties and look at their record or who they are, who are the players. Then you can make a decision as to who you want to be with. Does it make sense to be with a party that failed the country for 12 years? Where are you going to go? In fact, they are even desperate. Then you ACO that come in that you want power. And what you want? What is your message? Where you want to see the country? Where you want to see the country? What kind of country will you love? ACO going with Unity Party is, to me, is a non-starter. And those are the three major parties. So ANC is the third. ANC being the fastest growing party, if Cummings can play his card right and continue to give the message of change, the message of corrupt-free society, a message that will make Liberia to be trusted again by other people, and with open arms to say other people too will have equal opportunity in terms of making decisions to better the country, in terms of helping with the governing process, with open arms. Because, you know, there's this one thing to join with other people or to collaborate or to have a coalition, then to say, you know why you can't join me, you do, I give you whatever I want to give you. But if you open your arms to other people, trust me, ACO, Mr. Councillor Gonglo, Chairman Gonglo, and a lot of other parties, they may be willing, they can easily form alliance or collaboration with Cummings than anybody else. If you look at it, you talk about change. Other people, the Unity Party being there for 12 years and they did nothing. And Boakai is here to show any leadership. CDC is there corrupting the country, misusing our money every day. Who want to be with CDC? Who want to be with Unity Party? So if change is what everybody wants, change is what Liberian people are asking for, Comey stand a better chance to be that agent of change. And Steve, let me tell you one thing. People that were somehow on the fence, saying that they don't want to associate with Comey, that Comey has undermined his own political career by joining forces with the likes of Benina Ure, with the likes of Boakai, who were part of a corrupt government. And then those people now are going to say, well, now the Comey is by himself, I think it's safe to go and support him. They're going to say that. Especially those who say they don't want to be with Comey simply because of Comey's association with like Benina Ure and Boakai. So in all this, all in all, in short, Comey trying to gain in this departure than to lose. Who Boakai going to collaborate with? Yumble and Dillon? What they get? Nothing. They make us support us, and that was because of CPP. Dillon won because of CPP. Dillon became senator because of CPP. If election were to be here today, let Dillon run as Liberty Party. You see how much you see the vote he will get.
No, but Dillon cannot run as Liberty Party. He suspended.
No, exactly. No, but what I'm saying, let's say everything remains constant. Let's say, okay, Liberty Party remains a Liberty Party. Dillon go and run as Liberty Party. He ran before. Ask him how many, the number of votes he got. Ask Ben Sandy.
He came 6.
So the number of votes these guys got, it was all because of the hope and aspiration of the Liberian people to say that consider the CPP to say, you know what, this is our hope. This is a perfect alternative to what we have right now. That's why. And CPP now is being destroyed. CDC played their card right and infuse criminals in the CPP to destroy the CPP. Now CPP is being destroyed. But that doesn't mean automatically CDC will get second term. No. If Comey plays his card right in the ANC, trust me, they can get all those. Let me tell you something. I'm not talking about parties that really want power regardless. Those can go with anybody. Or people then that are just in this thing, they want position for themselves and don't worry about the country or people behind them. I'm not talking about those people. But anybody who want change, anybody who want the Liberian people to take you seriously, you will not be looking at the direction of the CDC. You will not be looking at the dead ANC, the dead Unity Party, because they were there for 12 years. And Boakai is yet to show any kind of leadership. Let me tell you something, Steve. I said this before. Boakai may not even run for anything. Boakai may not even run for anything. The whole dream of Boakai becoming president, Yombly want to be vice president, squarely lies with the CDC or the CPP. Now the CPP is destroyed. Yombly don't got party. Yombly got no party. Yombly got no party that she can rely on. They don't get money. Yeah, she might compete here and there and win some vote in Grand Bassa because those who everybody get that kind of vote. Those who feel like the Liberty Party for them, especially people who say, you know what, Liberty Party for Bassa people who think that way. And that sense of entitlement from those people who are Bassa, if you feel like, you know what, this is our party and Yombly is our person, they will support Yombly. But no party can win a country in Liberia with one country. You understand? So at the end of the day, Liberian people will follow the truth. And in every election, Steve, many Liberians and many voters, not only in Liberia, voters tend to gravitate towards change. That's how Joe got elected. People always gravitate towards change. Especially they always want to see new ideas. They always want to see new things. especially when they are suffering. The Liberian people have tested the ability of the Unity Party for 12 years. The suffering did not change. Now they have tested the CDC. Nothing have changed. It's going to get worse. So they may want to try something else. And to run an institution, political institution, it requires money. It requires trust. It requires your record. But do you think about this? If Nyomli, Boakai, Ure can destroy the Liberian people's hope just because of their selfish ego for themselves, just because they want Boakai to be, and care less about what becomes the future of the country. If they don't care, if they can go as far as siding with the government in power simply because they want to satisfy their ego, trust me, Liberian people are not stupid. Liberian people will look into those people. They will look at them. What is in it for Liberia? The CPP was the perfect opportunity. CPP was the perfect opportunity, the perfect alternative to the CDC. But if these people are the one that destroy that, and for no good reason, if CPP fight was about, you know what, this person does not have the better idea. This person does not have the good or the better record. But CPP fight is all about personal. Their personal egos. Because they want to be the one. It's not about Liberia. And they destroy the country because of that. They destroy the hope and aspiration of the Liberian people for their selfish interest. Trust me, Steve. In the end, Liberian people are not stupid. So all the people, you know what's going to happen now? People are freed out. All the people then who wanted to support communists in the end, and they were Unity Party people, guess what? They're going to come out right now. You're going to be free enough to support communists openly. Those Liberty Party people, they already did it. And people who were faking to be with Joseph Boakai because they wanted to see what would happen at the end of the CPP process, they are free now to do whatever they want to do. So eventually, the dust will settle. And when the dust settles, the sheep and the goat will be separated.
Well, the sheep and the goat will be separated. So that's a good point there, Mr. Okane. Unless you got something else to add on, I just want to ask you one question just before we leave for the day, because I know we're past the time here, but I want to ask you one question. You talked about how some people that were skeptical or, they had reservation because of wanting to support Cummings, but because he joined the CPP or so forth. My question to you is, did Cummings waste his time? Was it this route that he needed to take from the get-go as opposed to wasting his time and his resources with this collaboration? Should he have gone by himself from day one and project this message of change? Do you think it was a better route? Or, contrary to what you just said, this afforded him, contrary to what's his name said, Sarah said, this afforded Mr. Cummings the opportunity not only to, I think you or Sarah said it, to demonstrate leadership, because under his leadership, he worked under pressure, yet he still brought results. CPP had the biggest win ever under his leadership and his tenure. What does that say, Mr. Kane?
To me, he did not waste his time.
Okay.
There's time for everything, especially in politics. Sometimes, if he didn't join the collaboration, I can tell you Liberty Party, as bad as they are right now, they were growing
Yes.
very, very fast. They were considered by many people as the most organized, reputable, honest party. But sometimes something must happen to know.
Okay.
You know, watching somebody from distance, sometimes you will not know who they really are. So a lot of people thought Liberty Party without organized, Liberty Party without formidable, with some kind of, you know, organized structure and, you know, reputable people in it with, you know, some level of leadership skill. But that turned out to be what? A fiasco. Without the CPP, we wouldn't have known that. The Liberty Party was so poorly managed. The Liberty Party has nothing to provide. And this is why Liberty Party being what it is. They've been around for a while. But it was all about one person. It was all about, you know, one person and one group of people. It was all about Charles Bronski. Now that Bronski passed, Liberty Party was just a symbol. But that symbol, people believed in it. People thought that was something good. But when you dig deeper, you work with the people, you turn to know the true color of those people, the true meaning of Liberty Party and what it means. So what happened today? I saw people beating on Musa Belete car. Row, 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 row. That is the wrong way to proceed. That is the wrong way to proceed. You cannot scare an old lady with something that, you know, she's been doing for, that make her to get old. You want to start violence? You want to attack Musa Belete? So Musa Belete supporters should do the same thing. Anyway, they see Nyombli, they beat on her car, call her row, criminal, or some of the names. Should they do the same thing to Dillon? You cannot be in a glass house and throw stone. That is the wrong way to proceed. If you have any legal problem with the person, go ahead and take it on them legally. But sending criminals, thugs, to go and beat on the person's car, calling him something, these are the things that can bring violence. And when it comes, you won't be able to control it. So I'm expecting Musa Nyombli and Dillon to speak out, to denounce those kind of behavior for the people, for their supporter to go and do that to Musa Belete. That's wrong. They need to stop that. They were the same people clapping for Musa Belete yesterday, saying all kinds of good things about him. Because the political disagreement, you cannot go and take laws into your hand to beat on. So that was for the Musa Belete thing. And if they continue that, good luck. So in short, now that Boakai said they're going to go, you know, part way, let Komis move forward with whatever he wants to do. And I think now, Boakai people now should leave Komis alone to campaign the way he wants to campaign. Now Komis, whoever you want to bring to his team, now he can bring down. You want to spend money, he can spend it. Whatever he wants to do, I mean, to grow his campaign. It's equally so. Parker now focus on George Weah, the government in power, and see how well they can draw contrast between the Unity Party and the CDC. If Parker can run on his record with the CDC, with Unity Party against the CDC. So let what's his name? Let Cummings come in campaign with his record as someone who worked in corporate America, who worked his way from nothing to something. Let all of them run on their records, and then let people supporting them spend most of their time to sell their candidates. Tell us exactly what Bwakye is good for. Tell us what Bwakye have done. Tell us what Bwakye is capable of doing, and tell us the platform and idea of Joseph Bwakye moving forward. Forget about Cummings. For you Cummings people, forget about Bwakye now. He sleep, oh. You wake up, oh. Now you're being in there. You may not on your way no more. Everybody, you move on. Market your candidate.
So that means everybody can go hustle in.
Everybody can go hustle. Similarly, Ako, if I were you right now, send the CPP the chakla. Go and hustle any amount of CDC people you can get. Are you call it? Unity Party people you can get. Go among any kind of Liberty Party people you can get. Any amount of Unity Party ANC people you can get. Let's see, maybe before you look now, Ako will become, the front runner in the opposition. So all you need to do right now, show us exactly what you can do.
Yes.
Reach out. Market your candidate. That's the key. Forget about all these attack and counter-attack. Market your candidate. Tell us what your candidate is capable of doing. Then we will know. But leaving that to focus on attacking other people, insulting other people, it means that you have nothing to tell us. It means that you have nothing to say about your candidate. That means your candidate has no platform, your candidate has no idea, no policy to tell us exactly what they can do. But if you take your time to market your candidate, that means we'll know you got something. So Steve,
So that means you're simply trying to tell us that even you who the way the market boss and everything they can go and see if they can look for you too.
And anybody, and me, I've been available the whole time.
Oh,
and I with nobody. I've been available, but you can buy me with your idea, with your policy, with your record. You can't buy me with money. Tell me exactly. Give me your policy prescription as to what I think this one can cure Liberia. This one this one can solve Liberia problem. Show me.
No, I will tell you exactly what I can buy you by apart from all that diplomatic thing. Once you get DB and Ataye, you can get him attention.
So, in short, yeah, anybody buy me DB and Ataye, you're not getting 100%, but
you get attention.
You see me every day. So, yeah, if buy me DB and Ataye, that means you get me every day. But yeah, on a serious note, Steve, that's all they need. Tell us what your candidate can do. And I think there's an opportunity for Cummings. And I will caution ANC people, Steve. Please, if you want Cummings to be president of Liberia, this is the time. This is an opportunity for you. Take your time. Tell us what Cummings can do. Tell us what Cummings have done. Tell us the kind of government Cummings will have. Tell us how Cummings will tackle Liberia people's problem. Tell us what Cummings will do in terms of corruption. Tell us what Cummings will do in terms of education. Tell us what Cummings will do that will improve the market women life. Tell us what Cummings will do for the farmers, people living in the hinterland that are working day and night. Tell us what Cummings will do for them. They will listen. But just to insult, to say, these people are raw, people are criminal, that's okay, but that's not enough. They are corrupt, that's okay, but that's not enough. Oh, they're pushing out rebel, that one is okay, but not enough. Saying somebody rebel, that doesn't make you good. That doesn't mean that you are telling me anything good about you. They're pushing out rebel, they're pushing corrupt, they're pushing that's true. What are you going to do different? How are you going to tackle corruption? What kind of government are you going to have?
So invest. So basically, we'll close on this.
Spend time and money
Making
and
the
direct
case.
your focus and energy in selling your
Making the case.
candidate.
Okay,
Making the
That
case
makes-
for your candidate. Labrador people are not stupid.
that makes sense.
You know, for the past few elections, those by-elections, Steve, you know why the independents are winning? Because they're not wasting their time on talking about the government. What the government not doing, what the government is doing. They're telling the people what they will do.
Yes, because I mean,
That's why independents are winning all over the place. They tell
You're
the
right.
president, you're making noise, you're insulting each other. But I have the answer. That's why independents been winning. People are not stupid. People they want something. But somebody got to tell them. Tell them exactly what you have.
And-
Maybe they will
and that
believe.
same recommendation applies to all of them at large.
Even CDC, you know, we've said it before. If CDC, like me right now, you know, when I tell you I'm open to support anybody, I can support CDC. I can support CDC if CDC stop corruption.
Yeah,
If CDC can really provide security so people can move freely in Liberia without being harassed or being intimidated. If CDC can be a government that can take punitive measure, but the president taking, you know, or giving blind eyes to corruption, or being in bed with people who are corrupt, encouraging corruption, encouraging criminals. If the government can stop that and do what is right for the Liberian people, and the people on the ground feel that, they feel it, they see it happening, I'm in it for Liberia. I will support you. I don't care who say what about me. But you can't be stealing the people money. You can't be intimidating citizens. You can't be corrupting the country on a daily basis. Lawlessness, threatening other people's life. At some point, people are being killed mysteriously with no proper investigation to tell us exactly what's happening. My major concern, Steve, about Liberia, my major concern about CDC is their inability to provide security for people, their inability to support justice. Because what they do selective justice. When it is in CDC interest, they say the law will take a course. When it is against them, they pay blind eyes to it. That is one of my frustration about the CDC. If they can do the right thing and stop the corruption and do what they were elected for, trust me, I can support them. Especially when you have leadership vacuum in a country. You're already in power. But some people in the CDC, Steve, they think because they have successfully destroyed the CPP, automatically they'll be elected. They're getting it wrong. Some of them think because they are saying, Opposition for not serious, Opposition for not united. That's not enough. You got to do what you are elected for. Opposition for serious, Opposition for not serious, that's not your business. You do what you were elected for. The people come and re-elect you. But if you sit by and say, you know what, or you know, opposition not serious, opposition, oh, you're calling people baby police, or this one, that's not going to re-elect you. That's why they've been saying over and over. Steve, tell her this. Last year, Komis was not at this position. Komis not only being recognized internationally as a major political actor, but locally, and many of the people right now in Liberia, when you say who you want to be president, they didn't tell you Boakai, they will tell you Komis. They will say Komis, they will say Boakai. Because why? Komis now is a household name. And that is not happening in the vacuum. Because Even though that guy was in the CPP, but this guy traveled, even though he lost the election in 2017, but this guy traveled to majority of the counties, if not all. And when this guy was chair of the CPP, he was able to provide some results. And those results is a big deal. So the whole idea of the CPP, Bouakai was depending on CPP more than Communist was, because Communist Party is the fastest growing party, and Communist, introducing himself as the change agent, as agent of change, and people are gravitating towards change. So Bouakai was the one that needed the CPP to rejuvenate himself, to reinvent himself, to say, well, we did X, Y, and Z, it was wrong, but now that we are together as a group of people, we can do better. Now that Joe Weah is failed, but we can do better. But Joe Bouakai didn't show that leadership. So in short, this is good for Commies. All you need to do right now is to focus and telling his story, telling the people what he can do, providing, showing that alternative. Hey, this is what it is. This is who we are, and this is the other one. But ANC people, then I will repeat it. Insulting, not enough. Pointing to government flaws is good, but it's not enough. Tell the people, tell the Liberian people what you will do different. And let me tell you, one of the major problems to some of you, your inability to attract other people. If you act like you're better than other people, you know better than everybody will be afraid to even come around you. If you act like you know better than everybody will be afraid of you. You have to be open-minded. You have to accept other people for who they are. But that class attitude, we're better than these people. We know better than these people. If you do that, trust me, that will be one of your failures. Steve?
Thank you, Mr. Kenneth. That would be one of your failures. We'll call it a day. Let's make the announcements really quick. Thank you for sticking with us today, for listening to us. I know I will not be joining the CDC or supporting CDC because they will not change. So that's not something to even debate. They never cease to amaze people. But let's give that announcement. Maybe Sekou hopeful that it will change before 2023. Good.
Yeah, maybe they will change. But the way they're looking right now, to be honest with you, many Liberians, I will say this, many Liberians, people that I have talked to, people that have talked to Steve, many Liberians have told me, Sekou, we know CDC is bad. We know George Weah is inept. We know he's incompetent. But they are better than the Unity Party. Many people have said that to me. And some people that have told me that regardless of what happened, if they cannot find any alternative, that they will definitely they will vote to retain George Weah than to bring Unity Party back.
But the Unity Party says, hey.
A lot of people have said that. But the Unity Party put in themselves saying it.
Yeah. So you're right. You're 100% right. But let's give the announcement here. Tomorrow we'll be on at 6 p.m. We're officially launching the mental health and wellness, Mr. Kane. I'm sure at some point, if you're not busy, you pass by to say hello to our people. And if we find out your schedule, we look on your schedule today, you're not busy, we'll definitely call you inside. Yeah, but tomorrow we'll be on. My people, let me say it that way. We'll be on 6 p.m. Tomorrow, our very first topic will be trust versus mistrust. How you can start. We'll talk about it. Yes. We'll talk about how that trust.
I missed the last one, but tomorrow I'll be there. I'll be there to watch.
Yeah,
or maybe I'll cancel it, be cancel and be listening.
Yes,
Because
last week we had a teaser where we talk about the importance of grief. So it was pretty good. You know, a lot of positive feedback. So tomorrow is the official launching of the new series on SKTV called Mental Health and Wellness. Please put on your time tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 p.m. Liberia Time, and 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. That means Minnesota and other places in the Midwest there. And then 4 p.m. Arizona time. You know, Mountain Standard Time. So we'll be here.
Now, I'm leaving now.
You going?
Yeah, I'm hungry.
Oh, but how you get out of that?
Oh, but I come.
No, but why are you leaving?
Oh, but I thought you finished.
But we'll finish.
But let's go.
Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be on tomorrow, and then we'll be on Saturday as well and Sunday. We have not told you who will be our guest because we have not secured a guest yet, but anything could change any moment from now until Saturday. So please keep on. Invite somebody tomorrow. Let's have that conversation. Mental health and wellness will be on tomorrow. And you do not want to miss the conversation tomorrow. Saturday.
So before we go, we got I'm going to reiterate what I said today. This election, 2023, just mark my word, it's going to be between two parties. Unity Party is dead. The election is going to be between CDC and ANC. Just watch. That's all I got to say. We will dig deeper in the coming days. We'll tell you why.
Why you gotta be giving it kind of announcement that you create noise? Okay, Saturday we'll expand on it.
Yeah.
Saturday we'll expand on it. Simple that.
We'll tell you why.
And Mr. Kane, Saturday also, since we will be on the radio, we'll revisit the case of this whole lawsuit and why there was a sudden change.
And again, I forget. This guy mentioned something. What's his name?
Cyrus.
Denoir.
Yeah.
He said Denoir. He talked about Commies have produced the document. Is a lie? The reason why I'm coming flat out to say it's a lie because I know exactly what I'm talking about.
Let's expound on Saturday.
Commies filed a document with the court, and that document states that the so-called signed original copy does not exist, so they don't have it. That document states that Commies and the two people that they got nothing in their possession called original framework document. They don't have it, that it does not exist. So when you say Commies have produced the document, this is why I tell you that you're being brainwashed, because when you are old, intelligent, educated, and have mind of your own, you should be able to analyze the possibility of certain things. And when you hear stuff, when you hear information, dig deeper, analyze it, do critical analysis on your own. And then you say, is this possible? Possible. It's okay. When this happened, okay, this one happened, this one can happen. That distinguishes critical thinkers from others. Steve, I'll see you, man.
Thank you. I'll be on my way there. I'll see you soon.
All right. I'll see you in a little bit.
Okay.
Nima yasio ni maya si o. Ni maya si o. Yago ni maya.